Hey everyone, I just wanted to update you on where I am. It's kind of exciting. I'm in St. Petersburg and it is snowing right now, which is really exciting. It's the first snow I've seen on this expedition so far. And it's also country number 50 on this expedition. It also marks 4 months today. So 4 months and 50 countries. It depends on the country, it depends on what I'm doing there, but typically I've been spending on average at least 2 days in a country. You know, I'm somewhere for 5 days or 6 days, and some days it's like, 2 days. I mean, Liechtenstein is a tiny country, and Luxembourg is pretty tiny. Some of these, San Marino is a tiny country in Monaco. So some of these countries don't really require me to spend a lot of time there, especially if I don't have a student meeting or if there's no place for me to collect samples. So in these cases, I'm kind of only there for, I was only in Monaco for like a few hours just because it was so expensive. I just was like, I can't spend that much time here. So I kind of wanted to just answer some questions that I've been getting in regards to traveling and how I'm feeling and all that sort of stuff. My last video was a little bit stressful. I've been going through kind of periods of, learning about myself and traveling in such a rapid time frame. One of the most important things I've learned so far in regards to traveling to this extent is you need to have structure. I need to have structure. It's not necessarily a schedule or a plan, but it's been really important for me to have some sort of structure on this trip, to know that at least I have a place to stay that night, and to know just a generalized date of when I need to be somewhere, or a month from now where I need to be, so I can kind of plan my trip accordingly. Something I've learned is to always have a place to stay when I get somewhere. I've also learned to not book anything in advance. When I have booked tickets, flight tickets, hotels, or hostels, or Airbnbs, anything in advance, I end up canceling it because I either want to stay in that country for longer or shorter, or there's a meeting that was rearranged. The best thing is to book refundable everything. Refundable flights, refundable hotels. I can't tell you, I've wasted a little bit of money booking hotels that are not refundable on like booking.com or Expedia, and it really kind of messed up my whole schedule booking non-refundable hotels and hostels and stuff. So another cool thing I've learned is to ask for upgrades on flights. Ask if they have any complimentary upgrades to like business class or first class. I mean, you never know. And I've actually gotten upgraded a few times on this trip just because either I was last in line and I waited till the last person to go up, or I'd ask if they have, any complimentary upgrades. And, if you're nice, they sometimes will give you it, give you that last seat. Airbnb has been the best thing that's happened to me in Oceania and Europe. I found that if you stayed in Airbnb, your host is from the area, so they can tell you the good places to go, the places to stay away from, the best restaurants to go to experience local food, and you also get to like have a friend from a different country. So I've really found the Airbnbs over hotels or bed and breakfast or whatnot is the way to go on this sort of trip. It also gives you the opportunity to cook, and I love cooking, so like there's a kitchen and there's just you have all the resources you need in order to like live comfortably when you're in a foreign place. Before I go to a country, I always make sure to check weather.com, CDC, and Travisa. Weather.com to see if it's going to affect my travel plans, whether I'm flying, taking a train, bus, whatever, and also to see how I need to dress to be prepared for it. CDC, not really in Europe, but there was a polio outbreak in Ukraine apparently, and it always helps to check just so you can be aware in regards to health concerns that you might have to be aware of and watch out for. Not really in Europe, but it is a good site to kind of have on hand to look at before you go. And then also Travisa to see if there's a visa required. Belarus is really the only country in Europe that requires a visa for US citizens, and it's like a big process to go through that to get the visa. If you show up at the border, it's about 500, 400, 500 bucks to get that visa. So I'm actually in the process of getting my Belarus visa for coming back next year. Also, Russia requires a visa, but I knew that in advance. So those are the 3 sites that I always try and take a look at before I travel to a country: CDC, weather.com, and Travisa. All the rest of the stuff we know, we see it on the news, we see it on Facebook. You know, if there's something that needs to be learned in regards to danger or watching yourself in a country, it's all over the news anyways. So Google Maps has been a really good resource for me in regards to figuring out where I'm going. And if I say I need to get to this place, it'll show me the best way to get there, and also, you know, by train or bus. It's really, really helpful. So as opposed to me kind of trying to figure out the tram line or the train line or the bus schedule, I just type it on Google and it shows me exactly, Google Maps shows me exactly where I need to go. That's a huge, huge resource for me. I'd also say that, let's see, Uber is really good in all over Europe, and the Translator app, any Translator app, to just type it in on the go and try and figure out where you're going. I've also kind of picked out my favorite places to sit on like buses and trains, and I think when you're on a bus for a long bus ride, the best place to sit is like in the middle of the bus near that middle exit door, because it gives you just extra space, and you also have like a little kind of area most of the time in front of you where you can place your laptop, and you don't have any like restrictions in front of you or anyone putting your seat back. So I also like to sit on the aisle now when I fly, because I can just, it's so important to drink a lot of water on this trip, and I can just drink as much water as I need to and get up and walk around and stretch. And it's really, I found that to be really helpful, as opposed to sitting in the window seat where you're kind of constricted and you can't really get out as much. So trains, I'd say always the window seat. I like to look out and, you know, get some work done on my laptop, and that's just my favorite spot on the trains. Traveling at this magnitude, it's really important to know how to take care of yourself, what you need, what you don't need. And at first, when I first left 4 months ago, I would just eat like, eat whatever. I mean, it's like when you're traveling, it's like, hey, I'm on like a, not vacation, but I can just kind of eat whatever and then it dawned on me a couple weeks in, I can't live like this, because this is gonna be the next 3 years, and I'm really gonna like tear my body down if I, you know, eat junk food and just not really work out or take care of myself. So number 1, I get up really early and I'm in bed really early. So bedtime for me is like 8 o'clock at night. I'm in bed, read a book or kind of look over the next day, what I'm gonna be doing. And then I'm up at like 6:30 in the morning. I've also found that eating a really light breakfast is better for me, and having like 5 cups of coffee in the morning, and then having like a little lunch. And then I was going out and having like my main meal for dinner when I first started. That was like the one thing I could really look forward to, is just like going out and having a dinner somewhere and just winding down and getting work done at the end of the day. But now I find that just having a lunch is better, because dinner time I'm usually pretty tired and I just kind of want to chill out or walk around a little bit. And so I've found that eating habits are really important, as opposed to eating 3 meals a day. I've found that I've been eating like 1 meal a day and then trying to drink water and coffee and tea and maybe having like a couple snacks, but that's what I've found is best in order to keep me going. It also depends on how much I'm traveling. If I'm sitting on a bus or a train or a plane for 8 hours, then I'm not going to be eating as much. If I'm running around, then I might eat a little more. But I found it's really important to balance what you eat, what I eat, and in regards to how much I'm traveling that day. In regards to social media, at first I was posting like, I don't know, like 5 posts a day or something, and I was able to experience less of what was around me because I was so concerned with posting and like, you know, and updating everyone on what I was doing and what was happening. But now I've found it's okay. I don't have to post all the time, and it gives me more time to really take in a place and learn more about it for myself so that I can share it with other people. So I've found post less, experience more. I've also found it's really important to message or call family member or a friend like once a day so that I can I don't feel so detached from everyone. And that's been really important to keep in touch with friends and then family. I just try and do message or call someone every day. And the most important part for me of this expedition for myself and staying sane is to always have a goal to work towards, whether it's 2 countries from now, I know what I have to do 2 countries from now, or the end of the month, this is my goal, or I need to reach out to this many PR people, or, you know, always have a goal. Right now, I'm way ahead of schedule by like 20 days. So I'm actually kind of hanging out here in St. Petersburg for about 5 days while I just kind of reassess a lot of things and plan out the next month of my travels before Christmas time. So I found that having a goal is really important in order to stay on top of things and feel accomplished. And so just real quickly, I want to explain to you how I felt from month 1 up until now. Month 1, I was really excited. I was curious. I was, you know, it was all new to me. It was a new continent. I've never been to Oceania before, and so and I was leaving everyone behind. I was leaving my life behind and starting this brand new project. So it was very exciting. I was very curious, but I was also lost at the same time. I wasn't sure where this was going to go, what I was going to get out of it. It was a new period for me. Month 2 was a little bit more difficult. I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of stress, trying to manage how to control all these aspects of this expedition, from PR to sponsorship to just everything. Learning how to manage that on this expedition was really stressful for me and gave me a lot of anxiety. I also couldn't feel comfortable anywhere. In any country I went, I just felt very out of my element. And I also felt lost still because I wasn't sure where I was going and nothing was really accelerating in the way that I'd hoped it would have. So that was a really tough month. Month 3 was very difficult emotionally. I was just suffering from really bad anxiety and nothing was happening still, and I just felt like I was in a dead zone. I wasn't really meeting with a lot of, you know, ministers of tourism and students, and at that point I wasn't collecting water samples, so my time wasn't being filled as I would have liked it to be. I was traveling like every single day, but I just felt so unfulfilled that I wasn't accomplishing what I wanted to. And when my schedule is not filled on this trip, I just feel like I'm failing. So I was really feeling like probably that was the worst month on this trip. I felt as though I was failing and I kind of wanted to give up, and nothing seemed like it was going anywhere. A month ago, when month 4 kind of came along, I was accepting these new challenges. Things were happening. I was starting to feel comfortable in places that I was in. I was more accepting of new challenges, and most importantly, I was feeling comfort, and still am, in the unknown, which for me, I mean, it's all about falling into the swing of things. So knowing yourself, knowing that I needed to be in an Airbnb by like 5 p.m. I need to be in bed by 8 p.m. I know what I'm gonna do the next day. I have sort of a schedule where from 6:30 to 8:30 I have my coffee, I figure out my day, I'm off, you know, so on and so forth. So it's really becoming accepting of these new challenges, feeling comfort in the unknown, and just, yeah, it's been really good. This past month has been really, really good. I feel like I've finally fallen into the swing of things, and things are picking up, and my schedule is really busy in a good way, and I'm dealing with a lot less stress and a lot less anxiety, which is really, really good. So it's all about knowing thyself and accepting challenges and just learning as you go. It's a process. It's a 3-year lifestyle change, so some months are going to be harder than others, but as long as I feel as I'm progressing in some sort of way and not staying stagnant, that's the most important thing for me. I mean, obviously I'm not staying stagnant in countries, but emotionally and, you know, work-wise, if I feel that I'm accomplishing things on a monthly basis, then that's the most important thing for me. Here's to 50 countries and 4 months on Expedition 196. If there's anything you want to see or learn about, just let me know, and I'll try and share that with you guys. It's been a really difficult month in regards to what's been going on around our world. That has been difficult for me to kind of handle and manage emotionally, but I think we're going to get better, and I have a lot of exciting things in store in the next few months, so just stay calm. We're gonna all take care of this. We're gonna work together, and we're gonna make sure that our world just keeps getting better and better. So have faith. All right, I'll see you next video. Bye.